What we're doing tonight is a Kappa Studios holiday party, Red User Group meeting / holiday party, so it's a little bit of both. And my name is Igor Rijanovic. You've seen my name on all those emails that go out now. You know who's been spamming you. And emails will continue coming, I promise you that. What Patrick and I have planned for you tonight is a little discussion on visual effects budget and pre-production planning. Typically, when you think of visual effects, you think of films where visual effects are really overt. Any sort of science fiction, action type of stuff, Superman or whatever, stuff like that. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have films that have invisible visual effects where you don't really, as a viewer, you don't really see them, but then there might be different kinds of fixes, set extensions, and things like that that improve the value of the film, but they're not really seen by the audience, and that's primarily what we're focusing on tonight. The importance of visual effects supervisors, involving someone who really understands visual effects early on in the project, at the time of script breakdown, even if you don't believe you have any visual effects in your story. And the reason for that is you may look at a scene, look at the shot, and say, hey, yeah, all we need to do is build this super expensive set and get 3,000 extras. Well, a visual effects supervisor can come in and say, well, no, I mean, this probably may be more economical to do as a CGI shot. And then it can also work the other way, where you think, based on your intuition, not your experience, you think, well, this has to be a visual effects shot. It has to be done, through CG. But a supervisor can look at it and say, well, you know what, this might be more appropriate for practical in-camera effect. So it's really essential to have someone look through your script at that stage. And then at the end, we're going to come back to what Kappa does in this ecosystem of visual effects, what we've done recently on a show called Annoying Orange. And we'll take some questions and answers. So I want to introduce you Patrick FX Murphy, our visual effects supervisor.
The outcome of any visual effects shot is unique. This is from downtown LA, of course. Simple things that you may not think about. This was a shot where they discussed, oh, we'll just frame it so we don't see the AT&T stuff during the fight sequence. But of course, day in the shooting, you're thinking about the fight choreography, you're thinking that you only have 4 hours left. The last thing you're worried about is the AT&T sign, and then you have 30 shots with AT&T in it. So those are things that happen. It is, but we didn't do that. So it's that sign there we had to add the Teikyo. It's from a movie called Mask of the Ninja. And what you're realizing, you may not realize that on a number of those shots there you saw, there may be one guy who does the roto work, or maybe 2 guys that do the roto work. One guy who's going to do color correction, one guy might do a removal. There's actually a team of people that are involved on what looks like very benign and simple shots. And when you're on set and you go ahead and you make a call, you get to watch everyone move around. Everyone's moving, and you can really see the impact of your decisions the second you make them. And the problem is that the visual effects facilities have kind of facilitated this whole idea of a black box, because you make a decision, they're so happy to, they're more than willing to say yes, 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 yes. It goes off into the black box and it comes back, but you never really see all the little bees moving around to try to make it happen. So I think it's really important to understand that, and for facilities to start opening up their doors, kind of showing how the process works and getting more intimate with the people who are making their projects. The other thing about oversimplifying means that you have missed opportunities for efficiencies. So if you bring someone into your process much earlier, you have an opportunity to discuss what the director's vision is, and then talk to every department head about what it is that's going on, not only on the scenes that you've been asked to look into, but maybe on the whole show. And you quickly realize there's lots of opportunities to create efficiencies for other departments, or even possibly for yourself. All right, so this is from a show called Meteors for NBC. So of course, you could establish the fact that the place got hit by a meteor and this kid's now kind of off by himself any number of different ways. But it comes down to figuring out what is going to tell the story. Do you need to have a camera rotating 360 degrees while the kid stares into the hole? No, you don't need that. So basically, this is the same hallway taken from 2 different perspectives of the Loma Linda Hospital down in LA. The one below is taken from a ladder, and that's of course taken standing up. The destroyed floor is just destroyed buildings from Google. And the fire, just fire elements from a real fire disk, which is a disk of fire elements. And there's head and tails in here, so in context to the whole show, I always get blown away when people spend like 13, 14 revisions on a 28-frame shot. It actually takes 27 frames for the eyes to adjust in the middle of a cut, for example, for your eyes to adjust. So 28 frames is negligible. I'm like, it's done. In fact, Jeff Oken is the guy who head of his VS. He says, you should only ever watch something 3 times. People will watch it like 30 times. I'm like, what are you doing? Why? You're clearly not the right person for the project. You're watching it 30 times. People are going to watch it once. It's 28 frames. We're done. Let's move on. And people will get obsessed with things. So this shot, is only a handful of frames long, but it did the point of establishing what was going on. So that is a still photo taken from a house up in, I believe, Newhall area. And we just matted it out and went ahead and threw some clouds in there from a cloud disk, probably. And threw a null lens flare, because that makes everything look better. And put a little movement on it, and it was done. Now, does it look phenomenal? No, but if you're watching in context to a drama, you may not even think of anything of it. Like, now you know you're back at the lighthouse, it's nighttime, and it's storming. And in terms of amount of time, I think it took about a day to do that shot. I just gave it to one guy, he putted on it for a day, and it was done. And sometimes people get caught up in the whole idea of VFX. And you realize it's really a departure from what it is they're trying to do, and it's a departure from why the show's a success.